Hello and welcome back to our final game of the day. It's Golden Guardians Academy taking on Team Liquid Academy. And Crumbs, I don't know how this last game is going to go. We've had only sweeps today, at least on our stream. I don't know what the other stream was like. I can't help but feel like we're in for a tie. You know what, Crumbs? It's been a while since I've done best of two. I'm kind of feeling it. I feel like Golden Guardians had a really good shot in the series. In fact, we'll take a look at some of the highlights now and see how they did, because the other game was looking real good for them.
And this is where they actually were able to get 3 kills after losing a single fight here with the teleport from Niles, and Prismo starts to pop off here. He gets a lot of damage, lots of Ren stacks. You've got the Lee Sin tanking for him, just endlessly beating away at Dokla, and then another teleport to back him up. So this was where we thought, oh, okay, the Lulu, the Kalista, they're popping off. Prismo lives. Great way to block the Ezreal. No Qs connecting onto Prismo, but then the Karma supremacy just took over. It really felt like the Karma value was something that Lulu just could not keep up with. She was there to plays before the enemy could make it and just assisted in more ways than Lulu can.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? Where I think, we've talked so much today about Ezreal feeling like it's one of his roughest spots ever as an AD. But this kind of comp, I think especially in Enchanter vs Enchanter, as this is an angle that Golden Guardians, it looked really nice, but unfortunately for them, they get split up after Niles went in. Wild Growth was used on the Lee Sin, and a great snipe there for Gin. He had a great game as well. Definitely can't understate how well he played on Ezreal.
Yeah, he really did. When he got the front line in front of him, and so he could just hew away, auto attack with no fear of actually getting engaged upon. It lets Ezreal just do the work he's intended to do. Great snipe here then. He's going to find taking out Yunbi. And when the Lulu dies, then it's so much easier to continue to shift in. They got a Baron from that play. They caught up the gold, and they never let go. Golden Guardians felt pressure to make a play. Didn't find the perfect kick to get the Ezreal into the back line. And when he then gets to disengage, and your tanks are in the front, and they force the Taric ultimate out of you, that fight is all lost.
Yeah, there's a lot of like pseudo tankiness, right, on GG's side, right? Things make them tanky, right? Like Sid ult makes him super tanky, and Lulu ult makes someone tanky, and Lissin can maybe shield someone, but it's not real tankiness, right? As soon as all that stuff wears off, Taric ult, right? That's the other one I was thinking of. As soon as that wears off, you are just as vulnerable as you were when that play started. And I think in Enchanter vs Enchanter, Ezreal goes from like kind of average against like this double bruiser, like super divey comps, to like the absolute king of the whole kingdom, because like all you're doing is like having very, very long protracted fights, and that's exactly what Ezreal wants to be, right? Because he's so hard to kill in normal games, let alone a game where he can have his life prolonged for so much longer, which I guess is kind of what you were saying about a COG in some ways, right? Where a champion that just benefits from being able to constantly dish out damage. Ezreal's kind of the opposite, right? Where he benefits from staying alive forever, and he stays alive for forever when Karma's on his team.
I think that was the value that Golden Guardians saw in the first pick in the Xin, and with the Enchanters being up, they figured, you're probably going to take an Enchanter. That means that we can identify what your composition is going to look like. It's not going to feature a lot of heavy diving, and if that is not available to threaten the Ezreal, him with the Karma is going to run over the game. And so when that single fight was won, there was just no way to come back. Once he gets that lead where his Qs, no one can tank, he's poking better than any other poke champ in the game, because it's a shorter cooldown and he's safer than all the other poke champs that don't have the mobility. So the Ezreal, when you're dealing with Enchanters or with Enchanters, seems to just surge in priority and really starts to show us why it's getting banned and first picked in a lot of games.
Yeah, I think especially because both teams have Serpent's Fangs, which is very smart, but one of them is on the Ezreal, the other one's on the Lee Sin. Very obviously, it's much easier for Ezreal to apply that one, right? So I like what both teams did, actually. It was a really interesting game. We don't get Enchanter v Enchanter very much. I'll tell you that team fights are incredibly long. That's one of the things that I took away from watching that. But it was really interesting. I think Golden Guardians had a lot of opportunities to extend their lead a little bit more and couldn't quite get there. And then as a result, TLA came back. So now in the second game, really interested to see how, if at all, the teams want to change up their strategies. So we'll see what happens. The draft will be on screen when we have it. Shouldn't be too much further away. But I'm curious if like Golden Guardians maybe if teams want to ban enchanters first of all, right? Do you think if depending on what side you're on, Crumbs, do you feel like the teams are going to take them out of the pool this time, or they're feeling comfortable playing with them?
I think both felt like they were playing with fire, since Team Liquid Academy could have easily lost that game, and it was only that fight that really brought it back. So I think that both teams will think twice about giving these up again. Golden Guardians did give us a salty run back yesterday, though, in a single game that they lost. They just played almost the same composition again for game 2, and they actually won that. So I don't think this team shies away from that, but when they took the Xin, I think unless they attribute the loss to misplay, it feels to me like they are probably kicking themselves in the foot and thinking, if we just took the Karma instead and gave them the Xin Lulu, I think we could have dealt with it and had a better chance to have the stronger end of the draft, because maybe they can look back into how powerful the Ezreal and Karma got and think maybe that's something we overlooked in prioritizing these two instead.
We'll see. I do really like giving Ezreal away in general. I don't think Ezreal is that interesting. I mean, it's obviously it can be very powerful, but I think the teams are kind of figuring it out. I also think like picking Callisto is maybe something that will just become more commonplace if teams are continuing to play Ezreal. And I liked how Ezreal and Newbie played their lane. Newbie, especially with that beautiful First Blood lineup, was really nice on the Taric, but we will see what happens. They have swapped sides, so TLA will be on the blue side for this game. Viego and Gwen will once again be ceremoniously banned to start off the game, and we'll see what happens from here.
The toast to begin the game. We both agree to give up our first ban, giving them the way to Viego and to Gwen, and we are now reaching that fated moment. No Enchanter, Set, Lee Sin still available. Will the teams give us a run back of it? Team Liquid Academy won't hesitate to take that Karma again. It looked like they really knew how to work her into the Olaf or even with the Ezreal, so they will ban the Lulu, and I think, Golden Guardians just isn't okay with just giving that up without an Enchanter. Yep. They banned the Karma.
I actually like that from TLA. You get options, right? This comes up very rarely, so I'll try and keep it brief, but like typically the order in which you ban doesn't matter that much. Because you're like usually hitting the same champions. This is one of the instances where there's two champions you clearly want to trade, and you basically force them to ban the other ones. So saving the Lulu ban in case something else came up as the last one is nice, but picks are already finished here for the first three, so I'll stop talking about that and talk about Rumble, which is the first pick for TLA, followed by Lee Sin and Akali, which are the first two picks for Golden Guardians Academy. So Crumbs, our question has been answered. They are changing gears completely on both sides.
And Set is still available, but it looks like TLA wants to go with the Jace. It's a really old one, but it's not so good at actually team fighting and being so bruisey. It's more about hitting that poke and then having the equalizer follow you up, keeping you at a distance and not getting so scrappy. The danger I see with the Jace is that he's a prime target for Lee Sin and Akali to go after him. He is so squishy, so easy to pick off in the laning phase. You just need a jungler with CC, and you can really gank him up. But if they are pairing him up with an Aurelia, they want violence this game.
Yeah, they really do. And I'm curious what Golden Guardians Academy want to do here. If Rosethorn wants to play Lee Sin, he can. But Niles, I think, had a pretty good Lee Sin game. Yumby, I'm sure, feels confident on Akali. They're going to go back to Xin without an Enchanter. I mean, we see this sometimes, but not that often. That's kind of cool, though. But it's a pretty interesting top side on both sides, Crumbs, as we're already into phase 2 of bans. Rel going to get taken off the table. Bottom lane is going to have all their champions nuked in this phase.
It's going to be so action-packed in the top side. And so if the teams know where the action's going to be focusing, they can just start banning away the bot laners that they think will synergize best with very fed carries and solo lanes. So Rel, fantastic at setting up the equalizer, at setting up the Jace. And then the Ezreal is something that would really like to be picked when you're dealing with Aurelia with the Jace. Something that can stack armor and make sure that if he gets jumped or hits by a shock blast, he's going to have armor to diminish that damage. So they're both banning what they think the enemy wants to pair with their composition. And it's cool to see the teams kind of hint at what they think the enemy is going for.
Yeah, Nautilus is going to be banned as well. So last ban now for TLA. I again would be shocked if it wasn't a bot laner ban, either support or AD. That's basically the only roles left, and it's very obvious. Like, yes, these champions are flexible, but not that flexible, right? As Thresh is going to get banned away from Newbie. Tom Kench is up if that's the thing people want to do. I don't think this is a Tom Kench game. I definitely think this is a Leona game. So I like that selection there for Newbie.
Yeah, the Leona is going to be really good at just keeping Irelia stunned. That's what you want. When you see Irelia, just need someone to lock her down. You don't need any skill shots, just nice and easy. Keep her in place, then you can focus her. So this will make a lot of sense here. And it's one of the better tank supports that's still available that you can pair with your current selection. Although I think that the Braum here for Team Liquid Academy gets a ton of value. Braum and Irelia, very synergistic, lots of attack speeds, kind of the same idea as Sejuani Irelia. It's just so easy to proc stuns off of each other and keep somebody locked down until they're dead.
Yeah, Braum in general, I think a pretty good pick when there's so many melee champions and even melee support matchups you can play into. Leona, probably the trickiest of them all. You know, you can kind of beat up Nautilus and especially Alistar quite a lot as Braum, but should be fun, fairly skillful 2v2. Tristana nice and safe here for Yeon because he doesn't know what Prismal's going to play, and Prismal has at least demonstrated he's willing to pick, you know, aggressive things if the matchup is there.
Yes!
And we're going back to Ziggs Crumbs once again.
3 games in 2 matches for Prismal. He's looked pretty good on it. Just wants to be put in the mid lane once he gets his first item, and then Yunbi and Niles can just wave clear forever. So the side lane forever while Prismal ends on wave clear duty, and then team fights from a mile away. I think that him keeping his distance is a great way to deal with the likes of an Irelia. She can jump you and kill you, but if she's never in range to actually catch up to you, well, you don't have to worry about her at all. So this is Prismal taking it in a different matchup and really just showing us the full extent of where he thinks Ziggs can fit.
It's really cool. I mean, I even like the little things about this pick. Like, Ziggs is pretty good at helping your assassins assassinate people, especially if you're like super advanced and you can kind of build your own like rumble by locking someone down with Leona and then Ziggs ulting them. They take so much damage if you hit them in the center of it. So this is a really cool comp for Golden Guardians. I really like the way where they pick Leona. I think they're set up decently well for the Ziggs. I think the 2v2 might be a touch rough, depending on the summoners they take, although Ayla right now actually showing exhaust, so it might not be that bad. But we'll have to see. Definitely a fun, spicy game. This is one of the things that makes this meta so great, right? There are just so many different picks you can have. This should be a very nice way to end out our day, Crumbs, as TLA looking to sweep up Golden Guardians Academy. GGA going to be playing for the tie.
They looking to get a summoner spell in the top lane as well. Having the Braum roam up into the top side, if they can just tag Niles with a single spell, ooh, just out of range.
You have to know, as soon as you see one, you're like, they're coming for me. I'm out of here. Penguin's dabbing out of the way, chucking on the sunnies.
Well, there is a counter invade from Prismal and Newbie, so they actually do trade vision in respective red sides of the map. They're still sticking around, but they actually clear out the ward, so nice XP going over to Team Liquid, whereas Golden Guardians have yet to clear one. It's already an advantage for a TL, and it does help the lanes. It always helps the lanes to get those wards cleared out.
Yeah, 1 CS for Jace. Actually, a little bit of XP, which is nice. But Niles wasn't going to contest Jace at the wave anyway, so I don't think he's too mad that he has to leave still for Rosalon. Also started Safeguard, which is just fine. I think this is, again, the type of matchup where Niles is just going to be kind of taking it on the chin in the early laning phase, getting a couple extra points into Safeguard early, as Prismal and Newbie going to start at the wave nice and early here. Comment there up for Prismal, going to be looking to get the poke happening. And as I say that, by the way, the summoner spells will actually flip for the supports. So Ayla is the one with Ignite, and Newbie is the one with Exhaust, which is, I think, more what I expected when I saw this 2v2.
Exhaust is great against the Irelia, pretty good into the Jace as well. And I just want to say that I really appreciated that reference there to Niles playing the boxing Lee Sin, and we'll be taking it on the chin. I don't know if you did that on purpose, but
I did not, but I will now pretend that I did.
It's good. It's good.
All right, now changing skins again too. That's another topic for another day. I'm not sure I feel about players, but I guess he lost, so you know, maybe needs a bit of a reset. Although Crumbs, thankfully for you, it is indeed a rumble in the jungle in the jungle, so that's nice to see. And May are going to be power clearing it up. Rosethorn probably not too interested in much else, but does have the option of ganking earlier. It's one of the things that's nice about Xin. And this is like regular Xin. My goodness, that's a good satchel out of Prezball. But Newbie just going to eat the rung out of the trade. Man, that's one of those plays where it's like, I feel bad for you because you did that so well, but that did not work out for your supporter, though. Yeah, it's kind of low, so... And they're pushing the wave in. I guess I take it back. That's actually nicely done for Golden Guardians. Trading some of the support health for the 80 carry health and making sure the wave gets in. Also, Yumbi of note has Ignite and Teleport. No flash necessary today.
I think we saw Soligo go for this yesterday on the Akali in the mid lane. We usually see it in the Akali top lane or even in the Gwens right now, running the Ignite and the Teleport. And then the mid lane, she's usually pretty safe, but if Harry starts to get an advantage in this lane, she is going to be so vulnerable. The Akali without flash obviously wants to be fighting, wants to be trading 1v1s, but if you fall behind, you are just ripe for the picking.
Yeah, look, again, Harry already in, but level 4 Roaston here as well. Ignite is down. That's going to force a flash.
Good flash there. If Roaststorm would have flash comboed in, Harry did not have any remaining spells, so he wouldn't be able to defend himself except for his W. So he just flashes, takes it safe, and knows that he at least traded the Ignite from Yunbi. They won't have a flash disparity since he never took it. So it looks like the lane remains even.
He'd be back in. Harry actually hasn't left yet, so he's going to get a little bit of a advantage in that regard. Yumbi going to try and poke down as best he can, as bottom lane's still looking good here. And again, another great satchel. Unfortunately, the Comet being moved does mean it doesn't hit, I don't think. But definitely continuing to monitor the 2v2 there. But I'm going to guess if Ziggs is pushing, matchup's going well. That's typically how it works. Yeah. I'm more interested in some of these solo lanes here, because there's a lot of potential action here. I'm nervous. We're here in mid lane for so long. Yeah, there he is. There's Newbie.
They gotta make their way over here. When you've got the melee v melee matchup, you just know you gotta give up some experience as a jungle, as a support. It's so important that you get your Akali or Irelia respectively ahead. They will dictate the pace of this game, because once they start getting a lead on each other, they can just go after kills, and there's no thing to stop them. They can't wave clear safely, so it's easy for these supports to just roam up and collect their gold.
Late TP there. But Harry does give him a bit of an edge. But Yumbi looking just fine here as far as safety goes. Niles eating a little bit of damage here as Armeo's going to rotate himself up towards this top lane. Good little ward there in the bush, but Niles suspects something is wrong, and he would be correct. And he's going to W flash, very respectful there. Remember, when you W to a minion or a ward, you don't get the shield, so Niles just wants to take 0 risks in that spot.
Yeah, that was a very safeguard. I think he could have lived on that one, because it isn't Dark Harvest on this Rumble. It is in fact Conqueror, so he doesn't actually have that much burst up front. More about that sustained damage. So he's just happy to survive, be able to teleport back into the lane. Although he is falling behind the CS department, and losing that flash right now won't do him any justice in closing that gap.
No, it does have the Iron Spike whip though, so wave clear life is a lot easier now, so we'll see if that helps Niles catch up at all. Newbie going in onto Ayla, but Unbreakable is there. Rosethorn's the real one in the side. As onto Yun we go. Fortunately, off Yun we go, because Rocket Jump's a pretty good spell, and with Flash and Cleanse Up, it's very hard to nail down this Trist.
That lane is so difficult to gank, and even though they don't have the heal to stay alive, which is why they've been struggling to deal with this Ziggs, they're just so difficult to gank. They have double mobility spells, a way to get tanky, and Tristana can not only proc the passive so quickly, but if she uses the explosive shot, she's going to get another reset on the rocket jump. So this is a lane that ganking, more than anything, just lets you go into the dragon after they get shoved in. So that's what Golden Guardians will do. Will show that the jungler is down into the bottom side of the map, and that means that in the mid lane, Harry shouldn't even look to be aggressive. He spots the Xin and is happy to just let his wave crash and continue to last hit with his Blade Surge.
Alright, well, first spot's still on the table. Been a pretty back and forth affair so far, as bottom lane seems to be the center of attention for both teams in some ways here, though again, lots of volatility across the rift as Roastorn trying to steal this one. Yumbi with a great roam timing here. Armeo going to get ignited now, knows what's up, gets himself Edon, ulti out, and that's going to be first blood. The Comet comes down, and the ignite is enough for Yumbi. Prismal did ult from downtown. That's how that Comet got there. Really nice little roam there from Golden Guardians.
Really good timing too. The red buff was up. That's where they went for. Yumbi had pushed in the mid lane because Roastorn had already shown his hand at the dragon. So they used that priority to invade. And Armeo seemed like he was suspicious about it, but didn't expect that Xin was already there. And the cool thing was that he actually got to proc 2 autos of his 3-prong strike and then actually go in. But he's face checking.
Going on to Ayla. They don't have enough damage. Like, Pridgel's out of mana. Satchel's away. The stun is there. Yield blows him to pieces. That wasn't even an ultimate. That was just an explosive shot popping off. As now Roastorn's here. This is why they wanted to go aggressive. Ayla will be finished off. I love the redirect attempt, but Newbie with the flash Q follow. Auto does mean the double is confirmed.
The TL bottom lane sees that Prismal has no mana, and this isn't just an AD carry, it's a mage. Mana is everything for him, so they can go and commit to that play, knowing that there's going to be no way out. But Roastorn still in the area, just path back to his own blue jungle, doing the Gromp, and sees that there's action in the bot side, so he's quick to respond and clean up the Team Liquid bottom lane. So it ends up being a 1-for-2 in their favor, while Golden Guardians continues to get advantages on the map.
Oh, look at Prismal sneaking up here. Yeah, now he's going in for it. Niles finds the kick. Beautiful ward hop. The Q lands as well. Niles is going to die, unfortunately. And Prismal has got no ulti, so he can't chase him. Just a bit mistimed.
It was a cute roam. I see the Ziggs ganking, right? He's rotating over. There's a Rift Herald coming up, but Dokla just outplays it. Already has a serrated Dirk, so there's a lot of burst coming out from him. Let's take a look at how this played out, because Ayla initially goes in, gets a lot of damage soaked up with his own shield, and Yun with the cleanse is able to quickly get out of the exhaust, and Roastorn already here has an easy time going for this. It's a good Q though by Ayla to actually at least force the flash out of Roastorn and then the one from Leona. So they buy some time, but we're quickly jumping back to live as a fight over Rift Herald is being set up by both teams.
Yep, Prismal here ready with the ulti alongside Newbie. Everyone kind of rotating through there. Niles won't be there. In fact, neither top laner is, or I take that back. The other one is. In fact, that means Team Liquid are going to be the ones that take the Herald there. So Golden Guardians not putting up that much of a fight for it. But I guess Newbie might as well roam to Prismal. Given Prismal's roam attempt, which unfortunately for them didn't work out. Roastorn could steal it. Maybe fancies a go. Yunbi getting low. There's a 4v5 here. Niles is not coming, so Roastorn just going to give up his life for nothing.
Yeah, just kind of went in and died. There was no opportunity to actually win that. That was a 4v5 flat out, no TP. I think what Golden Guardians suspected was that Team Liquid saw that Golden Guardians wasn't going to contest, and then Golden Guardians assumed, all right, they're going to send members back to their lanes. They're going to back off. We're going to have a numbers advantage for a little bit, but that's not what happened at all. Team Liquid was quick to respond, had multiple members there, and when Roastorn goes in to die, he actually is going to be really important for this lineup to be able to find these fights. His tankiness is imperative to be able to follow up alongside the Leona. So these early deaths, while they might not seem so costly in the context of the Herald that was already going to be TLs, in the context of later fights, they'll really start to add up.
We'll see if Golden Guardians can continue on the path. Still looking to get the Siege game plan going, but Prismal not an item one just yet. Nice tag there from Harry. Team Liquid, not even up in gold, interestingly. That's the first blood did go to Golden Guardians. Newbie with the Hex Slash over the wall. It's a good attempt on Dokla. Dokla has no idea that there's a Leona here. Now he does. First on Sirius. Well, everyone's in the pool. And there's the kill. Niles takes him out.
Really good timing there. They even had Yunbi rotating over just to make sure that play would be solved. And in the top side, Team Liquid's trying to make a counter play, but Ziggs with his ultimate can deny this if it really comes down to it. The Rift Herald will prevent that turret from being protected, though. Team Liquid with a good response. And I think that Golden Guardians, in the last time they played Ziggs, had a much higher priority on the Rift Herald because of the value you can get from the satchel charge. So This time around, though, giving that one up, at least the first one, can be a detriment to the advantages that they can get.
Ooh.
So I'm expecting them to go for more after this.
Ults the wave, but doesn't kill Shelly. The Power 2 does take some more damage there in top side, but Prismal does defend. Mayo chilling by mid, but everyone's just kind of backing away. Alright. Item starting to finish off. Eclipse done for Dokla. That's a bad time for anyone looking to duel him. Kraken Slayer done for you, and he got the bulk of the golden top lane there from that Herald, so a lot of extra cash in his pockets, and only God Drinker done for Niles. Not there yet on the rest of the team. Newbie, though, looking for the play.
They did not even have enough damage to take down Harry. This Ziggs is not packing that big of a punch just yet, so I would be careful. This is a full build Aurelia already with the Vamp Scepter completed. So now we get a 1-3-1 from Golden Guardians. This is exactly what their comp was aiming to do, collapsing on 3 members, but 3-on-3 is not a fight they want to take. It's an even numbers. They're currently not in a position to just take these fights so easily. When you're dealing with a Rumble, just grouping up is enough to turn the tides in his favor. So they'll back off and look for another avenue that is more in their taste.
Yeah, Dokla's really strong. Blade of the Ruin King finished for Harry as well, so these are a little tricky as Golden Guardians are finishing up their first few items. Game is still very close. 2 dragons for Golden Guardians as well, as they did get the Infernal that was on your screen a minute or 2 ago. So definitely have the win condition. It's maybe not the one that they drew up with the Ziggs, with the Rift Herald, but they could maybe get the second one here. We'll find out in a mo. Good satchel. Now Niles looking for it. There's Newbie going in. Ayla, the target. Kick back. Easy kill for Roadstone. Really nice there for GG.
Really sick. Prismal has been on point with these satchel charges, displacing multiple members, finding picks from a safe distance. Some of the value that Ziggs can offer to your bot lane. So if you're looking to pick up a new mage, maybe Ziggs can be the one for you, because some of the other strengths is that if the game goes poorly, you can always stall out really well. Not really the winning mindset when you're just always thinking about how to win and not necessarily considering options as to when things go wrong. But hey, if it actually comes to a point where you need to keep the game from just snowballing in the enemy's team, well, you could just do that. He clears from such a safe distance. Unless you're flanking him, he's going to be able to do that consistent.
And Prismal is indeed keeping the tower in mid pretty healthy. Kind of being the gatekeeper there of that one. Rocket Belt done for Yunbi. Seen a lot of Rocket Belts today, which I love to see. Nice and aggressive there. Again, I think if you're playing Akali, it makes a lot of sense, especially given that you're typically picked in comps where you have 2 to 3 threats you look to assassinate, and they're usually pretty squishy. I'm not sure what Prismal's going for. I guess we'll find out in a moment. Probably something like Eludence. And also Riftmaker is done for Armeo. That is typically what Conqueror signals. So everyone has their first items done pretty much, again, except for supports, but you don't have to worry about them. They have their ward thing, that's good. Fortunately, supports, don't get too much luxury of early item choices. They kind of just build it whenever it's ready.
Locket is such a good item for supports, especially when you're dealing with so many bruises on your lineup, just making them a little bit tankier. It's probably my favorite support item right now. And in fact, anytime Locket was meta, you pretty much had it nearly mandatory on whether it was junglers or supports. The value you get from buffing up your allies passively is huge on top of the shield. And now Golden Guardians might be thinking about taking this fight, but they're once again late to the party. Harry does have TP, but at least Yunbi is in a flank angle.
They might look for this. They are ready now, but Harold's already dead. Now they're going to fight for it here. Are they going to be the target? Yumbi looking pretty good here, but already taking a little too much damage. Zokla just knocks him out of there. Yumbi can't get out as Armea finds him in the flames. But now the kickback on the Harry is good. They find the pick for the equalizer. Still doing so much damage. Golden Guardians trying to make it happen, but Roadstone is not tanky enough. And Prismal just can't quite find the last little bits of damage. Ayla the target now. Short Fuse is down. They'll get the kill, but Yeon's just firing away onto Newbie. And Newbie's looking to find the sun. He will get a flash in. It's so good. They found the double kill. Newbie stayed alive. It's Prismal and Newbie that are keeping the game up for Golden Guardians.
Well played by the Golden Guardians bottom lane. They get a 3 for 3, and you wonder how much better would that fight have looked if they were a little bit earlier to the fight, because Team Liquid had already taken down the Rift Herald, and so they could fall back. They didn't have to tank the objective while the fight was happening, and so it ends up being Golden Guardians engaging on the Team Liquid that already has their full attention devoted to dealing with the fight. Dragon is still available though, but before we go to that one, let's take a look at the fight, because now they can just focus Yunbi for free. Braum does a good job in tanking and zoning so many members with a good Glacial Fissure. They kick out the Aurelia, but a nice equalizer, and then Armeo staying alive I think is so clutch here, almost dying, gets the reset for the triumph. Surprise here at the end though with Prismal's damage, much more than I think anybody anticipated. Okay, so now we're going into the 1v1 section of the game with Aurelia and Akali fighting against each other, but they're backing off. They don't know where the jungle, where the support is at, so they just make sure that nobody is attacking the wave before they actually push forward.
All right, well, Yumbi chilling here in the bottom side. Golden Guardians kind of looking for that soul snowball, right, Crumbs? We'll see if they can land it here. On the TL side, they're happy with what they've gotten so far as they look to press their leads, especially around their jungler. 3-1-1 now from Armeo. It's pretty nice. But we'll be waiting. I think Golden Guardians is happy to chill until the next dragon. Getting a little bit of space created down here at the bottom side is nice, given that the dragon is in fact located in that area.
Oh, Rosethorn. They had that ward to see what was happening. Will Armeo stop it? Oh yeah, they do.
Very in there. Looking for Yumbi. Goes Golden. TP's coming in from everywhere. Now Niall's going to join, but maybe a little bit late. Rosethorn not going to be saved. Harry dives in on him, but Rosethorn's so tanky, man, with the ulti up, and the equalizer's so nice. And oh, what a Braum ulti to follow through as well. It's just picture perfect out of Team Liquid.
Are they going for Baron now, though? It's 5 seconds, so by the time they get there, it will be available. They're pathing towards a good ultimate.
Oh, the Comet, they found it. Leandris as well. Prismal gets a good snipe, but now Dokka's going to finish him off, and Prismal did not fancy this fight. Q's going to miss, but Dokka should have this one very, very easily. Prismal's doing a good job, but can't escape the Jace.
That was a really good kill, though, onto Harry, but it may not be enough. Rosethorn has just spawned, though. He has to run straight down here. Golden Guardians is going to stop it. Just the threat of Newbie could be enough, but Braum is now here to tank it. Doesn't have a lot of HP. TL have to back off.
Yeah. Correct decision there for TL. Really nice pressure there for Newbie, who's been pretty on point so far this game. Kill shots have been landing. Good pressure applied there to force Team Liquid off the Baron. Game still very close in goal between these two sides.
Well, we're starting to see the hopes of Zig, so let's go back to that first fight, because a really nice stun there from Harry starts the whole thing off. Yunbi uses the stopwatch to buy time for the TPs, but because Rosethorn is the one caught out of position, they flash and commit onto him. This was beautiful layering of abilities. It was a nice kick to do some damage at the end, and I want to see how Prismal actually shot this one, if it was entirely blind. Yes, it was actually. A blind ultimate, just a good knowledge of the pathing that Team Liquid was going to take. That might have actually prevented them from taking the Baron, so really well played out of Prismal.
Unfortunately, that lack of vision means he didn't know where Dokka was.
Yeah.
And Dokka was able to kill him afterwards. So, you know, he takes some good with the bad. Golden Guardian's still happy with what's happening. The game, again, still 1,000 gold between these two teams. Definitely be focusing now on this dragon that's coming up in a minute 20. Golden Guardians could get things going real nicely. Mountain Soul feels pretty good. Especially against the likes of old Pesky Rumble, you know. We're going to lock it now for Newbie, a lock it now for Ayla. Why not a little bonus locker? Why not the Mountain Soul Crumb?
Bonus locket, yes, that's exactly what these teams want. Because it is even better than the bonus locket, actually.
It is quite a bit better.
The others. Okay, 1 minute, and Prismal is just going to be here already with double items, happy to clear this out. So when it comes to fighting for priority, Golden Guardians will win in that regard. So Team Liquid need to just control the jungle and make sure they have complete vision before they start to contest this. That will be the way to access the backline, not just trying to deal with Ziggs up front.
Yeah, vision is really good though. The TL, they've taken complete control of the jungle as well. Here, as you can see, not a lot of space for them to look into. Golden Guardian's going to try and force them out here. 20 seconds till the dragon is up. They've just taken over mid. As Harry was pushing down bottom side, Niles gets the safety. Safeguarding onto Newbie. TP in from TL. What can Golden Guardians trade for here? Or is Yumbi actually looking for the angle here? Golden Guardians want to fight. Oh, Yumbi's been spotted. That's a bad time. Yumbi in the shroud. Waits patiently, but not patient enough. The stasis is there. Now Newbie trying to save the day, but it's not enough. The equalizer in the choke alongside the Brawl multi again. And Golden Guardians, oh my goodness, they're just trying to finish the dragon. They're just trying to zone them off here. I'm not sure about this plan, but this is the one the Golden Guardians will stick to. Good kick there from Niles. Onto Ayla he goes. Relatively tanky, but not enough there as Harry cuts him down to size. Tristana, though, has been finished off there, and now Roaston a little bit too low. He needs to be alive for this dragon. Stealing life from it if he can, as Zokla did die. Golden Guardians, how have you wizarded your way out of this one?
It's
they're not going to get the dragon, but they're still alive.
Oh, it's Harry versus the world. He's full HP. They're trying to go for a steal.
They're going to go for it here. Oh my goodness, it looks close, but Amaya does have the smite. Now Roaston is a little too far forward, smites it up, gets him out of the way, slows down Harry. Prismal's still running in, but Harry's going to get the W down, but the TP is coming through for Golden Guardians. I think they may have found the kills on the exits. Indeed, they will. Roaston lifts, Prismal grabs the shutdown for the double, and Golden Guardians, now they're the ones going to Baron.
They might have just turned things around on a single ridiculous fight. They don't have the HP. Ziggs is not going, but he can teleport. He will have it back up, so that could be the play if they want to go for a Hail Mary. Equalizer!
Oh, what a cancel! How did he see him? I don't know how I knew he was there. I think there's maybe a trinket or just to the right there that spotted that.
Yeah.
But very well played by Armeo, but I still think Golden Guardians are going for it. Niles is tanking the Baron right now. Indeed, they will know that as they pop the Scryer's Bloom, but this is a very slow Baron. Yumbi is taking out Eon, though. Now the TP's in. Prismal, why'd you hit the button? Prismal?
Okay.
Prismal? Maybe
right.
thought it was a ward.
Well, they still are going to get the Baron, though. There's no threat of a steal, so they end up kind of losing that fight. They lose the dragon, but then it drags on for so long, they actually end up coming out victorious out of all that one. And that is just such a long fight. It only now comes to a close with Yeon getting taken down by Yunbi. It's him face-checking an Akali, who gets to instantly hit Hurry and follow up on the rocket jump. So that's what's going to happen when you face-check an Akali, actually. It's pretty likely that you do not survive that as a Navy carry.
All right, well, this should be the dream scenario, I feel like, for Golden Guardian, especially with how big Prismal is in this game. They've got Baron, they're looking to siege with the Ziggs. Guess what? You got the siege thingy. Go take some towers here. Prismal should be making short order of a lot of these structures. I mean, this one's just absolutely dead. There's no chance. It's, like, exploding. I wouldn't even use the satchel. Yeah. Save that for one of the juicier ones. Niles defending. Oh, goodness. How have TL fought them back here? Dokla doing so much damage. Oh, Prismal! Be careful! He's on the equalizer right at the end. It's just a tragedy. Team Liquid with a perfectly timed counterattack. Golden Guardian Siege is just evaporated.
I love seeing that Ziggs can just try to waddle away with his flippers and not being quick enough to escape Aurelia and Jace. He just flash after him, so they do stop that siege pretty successfully. In fact, they're not even going to be able to get a turret, and Armeo is just gunning for him every time. Team Liquid have decided that enemy number one is Prismal. They have to just kill Ziggs. If they don't, he's gonna just ruin their lives, and they won't be able to see him because of how far away he's shooting these bombs from. So they're using everything for him, and as long as they continue to kill him, Golden Guardians just doesn't have enough DPS to actually go through the rest of the team.
Yeah, and I think it's correct, right? Yumbi actually the target now, but he's going to make his way back safely, flips over to the tower. But this is not the Baron buff that Golden Guardians wanted to have. Really nice work there from TL to recognize the threats. I think Golden Guardians may be setting up a little too quickly. and Team Liquid punish. And we'll see what they can do with the rest of this Baron. Niles is like still hanging out topside. We'll get the tier 2 finally. But Dirkle here to answer the wave nice and quickly, so no further pushing is happening. And typically you'd break an inhibitor tower at least with this kind of Baron. I think Ziggs you can probably expect to get at least one inhib, but unfortunately for Golden Guardians, all those plans have now fallen to the wayside.
And they're going to have to make some new plans, and they probably have to revolve around this next dragon. It's going to be the Mountain Soul for Golden Guardian, so it's that super locket that will benefit everybody constantly. Doesn't need to be pressed. It's just natural, so you don't even miss it. One of my favorite stats has always been knowing how unlikely it is that players actually use active items inside the game, because sometimes you just have too many, and they're not that easy to keep track of when your abilities often are much more important.
All right, well, game is still very close. Gold is dead even. Kills are even. Going to be the fight for the soul that maybe kind of shows us that first real advantage in this game, or at least a permanent advantage for Golden Guardian if they can get it. They do have the option of trading it for the Baron potentially as well, but I think they'd much rather just find a fight. 20 seconds now till that's up. Niles does have TP, so does Dirkle. Niles actually level 16. As Yumby's getting caught here by Armeo, and Armeo is not to be stopped. Typically, Akali pretty good at assassinating Grumble, but Armeo is so far ahead that he's the assassin.
That was so much damage onto the Akali. I don't think she'll be able to lifesteal from, or spellband from this wave. She'll have to base and look for a TP into this lane, but TL can take this time to start the dragon if they want, although Jace is out of position. They're gonna catch him. Oh, Dokla.
How did Newbie find this flank? Dokla indeed gonna get flash kicked back. There's the alley-oop into Newbie's waiting arms, and that's gonna be a kill. Now gonna get in the dragon. Armeo's there, ready to try and finish off at Roseton, ready for the challenge. They get it down, they get the steal! Golden Guardians! They found it beautifully comboed there with Prismal's ulti, and now Armeo's going to be killed. Ayla also very low as Yumby's diving into the back lines. Niles, we're going to try and find Yeon, should be able to get it there. Pop at the Penguin for a little bit of the dab action. And Niles, oh, he's just so rude. Good flash from Ayla, gets himself out of there. But Niles really styling on some fools today, as Golden Guardians very well played to coordinate for that Drake steal.
The positioning there from Newbie and Rosethorn end up getting the pick that splits Team Liquid apart and gets them the objective win. Baron is not in the card, so they're not able to drive it home with a Baron to finalize their push, but still they get that crucial pick and they get a lot of flashes out of it. Yeon and Ayla burning their own are going to be critical. Let's take a look at how Dokla got caught again, though, because a good cue from Niles into a kick flash makes it all too easy. These two could have had the kill, but they have the insurance of the Akali at the end, and Team Liquid make the only call they could have made at that point. Can we rush this objective? Make sure that maybe, just maybe, the worst thing that happens is that we die, but at least we don't give up the Dragon Soul. But they unfortunately are not able to contest with the Smite and the Ziggs ultimate to go for a great steal at the end.
I like the attempt for Niles, but it doesn't work out. Still, the soul is theirs. I mean, like you said, TL had to go for the play. Even if they get it, really not a big deal, right? It's just the first dragon for TL at all this game. So Golden Guardians knew they would take the fight win, but they get even more than that with the soul steal as well. And now, looking at that Baron buff in 20 seconds time, it's Dokla that is split pushing very rapidly here in the bottom half of the map. Team Liquid have basically abandoned any sense of trying to fight directly, and I don't blame them, because with the Mountain Soul it is pretty tough, and Niles is going to have to go back to answer this Jace, as TL still on the offensive. The gold is still even, by the way. It's a very close game.
Someone has to defend this.
Ulti there for Prismal, does a pretty good job on the wave. And now Team Liquid, can they get out safely? Rosethorn ready to go at a moment's notice, goes on to Ayla, gets the knock up there, but the door is nice. Ulti out of Newbie is not quite in range.
Look
and
at the
TL will disengage, but they're wrapping. Yeah, they're going bottom lane.
Oh, they don't want a team fight. They just want a base race. They want to force Golden Guardians into a tough decision. And they're now basing, but there's no Ziggs to defend this. It's going to be an inhibitor turret.
Yumby has to buy time, though. They don't get the tower just yet. Rosethorn, oh, the trap has been sprung. Good ulti there. Good golden, though, as well for Rosethorn. Keep himself a little bit safer. Niles looking to go in. Does dive in onto Harry, but not enough here, I don't think. The equalizer's down. The damage is there. Now they need to reinforce. Harry's already taken down Yumby. Rosethorn's low as well. Niles also going to go down. The Golden Guardian's Guardian Angel is going to keep Niles alive for a little while longer. Good stun there for Harry, but no follow-up out of TL. But now he's going to go back into the waiting arms of Prismal. Has to be a mistake there for Team Liquid to re-engage that. And now Prismal, he's flushed the wall. He's going in. Onto Harry he looks. Newbie trying to get one out, but he can't quite find Yeon, who does get the kill. And Team Liquid will back away, but Prismal's not done just yet. As Golden Guardians do defend the base race that was brewing. What a bizarre situation.
That was some real grit from Team Liquid to look for a split situation. They know they are struggling with the team fights right now, but they had the minion waves in the bot lane. They had the ability to just split off Golden Guardians, call them to the fight, and that's exactly what they did. They catch this in first right away, but no one actually gets enough members killed to go for any objective afterwards. So now the stakes are just raised because Elder Dragon will have to be contested. It's only 2 minutes from now, but that's usually enough time to warrant a Baron dance. That by that time it's finished, the objective is already on the map. So I don't like this move by Rostorn using the stopwatch with the tandem of the ultimate, but it at least buys time for the rest of the team to join up. And even though it's a nice choke for the Six to be using spells, launching bombs from, because so many members already died and TL is entirely grouped, nobody else can follow through.
So funny that I didn't notice it in there, but Ameo just got like shot over the wall, like walking through a couple mines. Prismal actually, that's how he got that kill with the satchel, and then they just keep going because Prismal's feeling very powerful in Ziggs right now. But Baron is on the table. Minute 20 till the Elder Dragon, but we'll hold that thought because Baron is, of course, the prize right now.
Jace is still pushing though, so TL has another TP. Oh, I want to see them try to stop the ports. We could have a base race.
We're going to have a race for sure. The equalizer on the Baron is kind of interesting. It kind of helps them to some damage, but not enough as Dokla does get the inhib. They're going to get the Baron here, but can they get back to safety? That's the real problem. TP out of Ziggs. That's a very nice one there. It's Yeon is not going to stop it now. And now Prismal's back. That is perfectly played by Golden Guardians. As Niles takes down Almeo, they get the Baron, they kick him out. They lost an inhib, right? So it's not for nothing. But Elder Dragon is now on the table, and Golden Guardian should be able to take it if they want it.
Oh, Team Liquid, they knew what the play was, but I think it might have taken too long to catch Golden Guardians off surprise. It was already the second attempt at that kind of move. And when they showed that they weren't really going to contest the Baron, where Jay stayed split pushing and wasn't interested in poking away, they showed their hand. So Golden Guardians was prepared to defend, to teleport, get Prismal into the mix, and he is enough for wave clear. They can be relentless with this push. Team Liquid needs to go back. They've already gone here. They've got Chase to wave clear, but now the Elder is available. They can just retreat into this objective and have more members. Armeo just now spawned.
Such a good bit of poke there from Prismal. Gets the ulti down. Trunks Dokla down massively. And now they're going to go straight for the Elder. Again, Golden Guardians understanding the situation. Playing it nice and quickly. Everyone over the wall with the blast gun. Have to take out the control ward though. As Prismal, oh, he's trying to keep him out. He's playing goalie. Get him out of the pit. Where's Armeo? He's not that far away. He's actually right behind the pit, as we see. This is going to be very tense, but now Golden Guardians want to fight instead. Yumbi already popped the ulti. Ayla low is going to go down, but Stasis is going to keep him alive for a little while longer, but Rostorn goes in. They get two as they take it. Harry as well, and now Armeo can't do anything. It's Dokla. He's trying to end the game. Armeo looking to maybe steal the dragon, but he is going to fall. They need to get back, though. That's the big issue, as Rostorn is going to take him up, but everyone's channeling bases back. Dokla, he's actually on the Nexus right now. Are you kidding me? Dokla could finish it off for his Niles. Just needs to kick him away, but he's got no ulti. Dokla, he's trying to finish it off with Dokla. Oh my god, he actually finished the game.
Oh, they did it. They actually did it. It worked.
My goodness.
Oh no, Golden Guardians. Oh, there's no 1-1s. It's only 2-0s.
Thought we were going to break it. I had it. Had the feeling in my bones, Crumbs. We were going to get a tie, and I was almost right. Almost, as we'll see in that game, is not good enough.
Oh, they're gonna be kicking themselves for that one. They had it. There was nothing Team Liquid could do in the fight. They were relentless at attempting to split push, but there was just not enough respect for it. There were some struggles with the recalls at the end. I think Yunbi should have just channeled it forward, but that was a hero play there from Tristana, flashing in Buster Shot, stopping the teleport, making sure that it would buy more time for the Jace, and a hero move from Dokla. Joins the team, ends with the backdoor win on his first week in. That feels pretty good.
That's true. Pretty good little debut there. Man, that was absolutely wild. I'm sure we'll see that again. But definitely a very dramatic ending to a game that definitely felt like it was going in one direction. But Team Liquid understood their game plan, and Dokla manages to find it out. I mean, that has to have been so close. I mean, Jay's a pretty good champion for that kind of play, but like it's not like he was unattended as we watch the replays. Finally, have a look at what really happened, Crumbs. But before we get there, take a look at the other highlights from this game.
Yeah, we're going to have to at least start in the mid game, though, because the late game is where the split push shenanigans really begun. This was a good set of plays for Team Liquid that actually got a lot of kills, but it also happened to be where the Ziggs started to show off his true power, was able to get a kill, then onto the Irelia from Fog of War, just chucks it out, has an idea of where it's at, right in the middle, and with the burn and the comment actually ends up getting that final kill. But this is where it started to really get off the rails, where Team Liquid's just throwing people to the wolves, trying to get the objectives. They lose the soul, they win against a team with the Mountain Soul, already showing us that this objective isn't a guaranteed victory.
I mean, you know what? Mountain Soul's all about team fighting, Crumbs. Just avoid the team fight. Okay, this isn't even where we are, but this was TL continuing to be relentless in these situations.
They were going so far into the blue side to make sure that they had the position to actually contest for the inhibitor later. And I want to see the one you mentioned about Armel. Yeah, just gets obliterated from the side of the wall. And Prismo, twice this game, we saw him flash in as Ziggs to try to go for more kills. It worked every time. It was really nice. But
yeah, Prismo played very well on this Ziggs. Definitely something to have a look out for. But yeah, this is where it got really wild.
Okay, so the ports were canceled, and I think that Golden Guardians just needed to be a bit quicker with that one. But Dokla flashing the logo, ready to go, autoing every time, then uses his flash well. Niles and Yunbi
really
just couldn't do it.
Yeah, I mean, no way to disengage him. Niles doesn't have an ulti. Yumbi doesn't have ultis, right? So he can't try and kill him, which is the other way to cancel that from happening. And Dokla just played that really nicely. Very calm, using the flash space properly, and then really nice. And you know what, Crumbs? We couldn't have timed it better because for our final Verizon post-game interview of the day, I would love to welcome Dokla to the broadcast. Hello!
Hey, guys.
How's it going? That was quite the ending. What were the comms like in that moment of the last game there?
I mean, we're just saying stop the bases, you know? It's like, we pretty much just got wiped on the Elder Dragon, so, I mean, this was the only play we could go for, and everyone just do your best to stop the bases, and I'll try to get us a win.
Now, talk to me about how your last 2 weeks have been, because I assume you got the call very recently. Hey, we would like you to join Team Liquid Academy. Is this something that you had planned for in the beginning of the season, or what was happening? Did it catch you by surprise that you're now going to be here and contesting with one of the best teams in the league on the Academy League with TL?
Well, I only joined TL like last week. I guess they contacted me last week, and before that, I was planning on just playing amateur and playing in proving rounds. So, I mean, it's definitely unexpected to just join a team mid-split, especially. But this is just our first week of practice, and I think we're just only gonna get better from here.
I'm curious about the game actually, because it felt like very obvious that you had mostly abandoned the idea of team fighting. When was the call kind of made that, like, okay, I guess we just have to split push a side lane? That's probably the best way we can approach, a team that's getting soul with the Ziggs we can't really get through.
Yeah, so, I mean, they just have really good flankers in Lee Sin and Akali, and if we don't have any vision, then we're just going to die because we can't really deal with those champs. So when they were setting up Baron, I'm like, okay, well, let's just go bot because, I mean, just force them to come to us. And even if they Baron, I think we might have ended if it was like a 5-on, whatever, how many they sent. And they do Baron pretty slow because they don't have a real AD carry. They have like 6 damage. So just split pushing turned out to be the best way to win the game.
What have you learned from the last time you were playing in Academy and then till now that you're bringing to the table that you felt like, oh, maybe this is something I should have done back then that I'm doing now that's making you a stronger player.
Right. I think last time I was in academy, I learned a lot with Peter Zhang as my coach, and it's just applying all that concepts, like shifting, especially. I think I applied it pretty well this game, like getting the Rift Herald for my team, even though we didn't snowball that well, but just getting those advantages and just using like how to best use your advantages to help the team. And I feel like I know a lot of that now.
All right. Well, you mentioned Peter Zhang, so I guess I have to call him out. My old mate. And your current coach now is, of course, Spawn. How's that been going? Especially because I believe he's still working remotely with the team.
Yeah, he's been really helpful. Learned a lot just yesterday from our loss, and applied it to this game too because we played the same matchup. So he's been really helpful, and he is working remote. So once he gets here, it'll just be a lot better. But we're working with it for now.
All right, well, that's awesome, Turkle. It sounds like things are going well. Thanks so much for chatting with us.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Alrighty, Crumbs. Well, it's been quite the day. Put it lightly.
Yes.
We had a 1v5 pentakill, unofficial pentakill. We had a base race. We had only sweeps, but let me tell you, the scorelines, they lie to you sometimes. That last series especially was an awful lot closer than the result indicates. Golden Guardians clearly need to iron a couple things out, but the blueprint is there, right? Early game's looking good. Feels like the team's starting to build up coordination. Map play's not bad in the mid game. It's just got to be really clear in hectic moments. And if you're always finding yourself in hectic moments, there's always ways you can go back and kind of figure out where else you should be. But really fun games today. Really glad to be here for today's games. It was wild. I don't think we'll see a 1v5 unofficial Penta maybe ever again. So You know what? The day was worth it just for that.
Yes, exactly. I mean, the Pentas, the backdoors. Something about this season in Academy is just going out with a bang. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from these teams as they get these extra games. They're really making the most out of it. And from everybody we talk to at the end, we always hear how quickly they feel like they're improving. And I think the games actually show it, even though they might be in these just such a wild moments that you rarely see. They're often such high pressure situations where the decision making has to be done in a split second, and so the teams are just getting the reps in those times that are just such a high stress environment, and they're thriving in it. I think they're really getting better, so it's cool to see that from every team, like the Golden Guardians. Yeah, you got O2'd, but you're improving every single week.
Yeah, I think in general, the learning environment seems good. I like we're seeing like picks that we maybe don't see as often. It almost feels like a preview of the LCS weekend potentially, right? Where is this the week people finally bust out Diana? Have Academy just been playing Diana forever? And, we haven't been tuning in. It's really cool to see lots of little things and how it all relates. But I think in general, with how Academy is, with how Amateur has been, and of course with Proving Grounds kind of meeting them all together to kind of cap off the different seasons, it's very, very clear that the competition is here, and there's a lot going on in NA League of Legends, which is great.
Yes. And I think one of the funnest things for me is actually just getting the interviews, getting just to talk to the players, just to see what they have to say, see what they're like. It's something that I think you get to do all the time, but for me, it's like, oh my God, here we are. We actually get to talk to them and see, just ask some questions, get my curiosity satisfied. So it's really fun to do that as well.
Oh, Crumbs, it's been a great day, and it's been a great stream, so thank you all for watching us. We are going to head off. Don't forget to tune in next week. But for now, for myself, Crumbs, the other B stream, and all the production crews that bring you this awesome show, we'll say goodnight.